A year ago, Jurrien Timber's dream looked shattered, but today he's back in full force, defining what it means to be a modern defender at the Emirates. I'm here again with my guy Wale. Wale, how you doing, bro?
Fine, thank you. It's great to be here. Great to be on this show talking Arsenal matters. It's always fun. Great to be here.
Yes, boss. So let's do this.
Okay.
Welcome back to all of our Arsenal. Today we're going to have a very interesting topic focused on the inspirational Jurrien Timber. Timber has been someone that he joined the club a couple of seasons ago. He has grown in prominence, and in all honesty, he has become one of our best players this season. So before we go into the slides and talk more about what we have packaged for today, what are your thoughts on Timber as an individual, Wale?
Okay, so for me, I think he's a solid professional, someone that just does the work. He goes about his duties. I think he's also someone that has a lot of charisma and personality. People like him, and you can tell also that he is a loyalist because you see how committed he is on the pitch when he's playing. There are no gray areas. It's like he throws in everything. Sometimes I dey wonder, say, this man, you sure say be pastor, because the way they match people for, but that's what comes to you when you see him by a consummate professional.
Awesome. And in all honesty, his rise has been nothing short of remarkable. From his heartbreaking ACL injury on his day. Hello? Yeah, Wale. Hello? Wale, are you with me? I think I've lost Wale. Oh, that's just sad. I'm just going to join me shortly. Okay, so while we wait for him, I think I'll just continue the stream. The idea was for us to have this chat together. Well, I just lost him now. Let me just quickly check on him. I'm trying to check back on Wallace to see how he's doing. Okay, so we're still talking about Jurrien Timber, and obviously his rise has been nothing short of remarkable. From the heartbreaking ACL injury he suffered on his debut to becoming one of Arsenal's most complete and composed defenders. His journey has been of pure resilience. A year ago, Timber's dream looked like it had ended before it began. He had signed in from Ajax Amsterdam and he was hopeful to, continue his career at the club. He actually had a great preseason, if I remember clearly. And when the campaign started, just when we thought that we were ready to, hit the ground running with him, that's when he suffered that terrible ACL injury. That's when he suffered that terrible ACL injury. And, things went downhill from there. He lost track for the best part of 1 year. That was terrible, to see him suffer such a terrible injury that had kept him out for the side just when he was just about to find his feet. But if we fast forward to now, he's not just back. He has evolved into one of the most complete defenders in the Premier League. And when I mean complete defenders, I mean complete defenders. Under Mikel Arteta, he's one of our biggest success stories, and as you can see, Arsenal fans are very happy to see what Timber has done this season. The improvement has been there for everyone to see, and all we can just think about the great strides that he has made this season. So it has helped with that Ben White suffered that injury, that kept him out of the side for quite a while. And with Ben White out injured, we had no choice but play Timber regularly. I remember last season when he also had like some injury problems, struggling with fatigue and stuff like that. But by virtue of the fact that he knew that there was no one else pretty much in the team with White out injured, he had to play with a whole lot of pain. Like there were so many games when we learned afterwards that Timber had to take injection just to be fit for those games. Just to be fit for those games. But it's all good. I'm just happy about how he has progressed as a player. But I'm trying to reach out to Wale. I think he's having some challenges, trying to get back in and all that. But when he comes, we'll continue the discussion. Okay, so let's think. In the international break, Timber played for Holland. I spoke about it in the last video I did on the channel. And by the way, we are at 1,000, almost 1,200 subscribers now. I'm so grateful to everyone that has been part of this journey. You guys have been awesome from the get-go. Started this channel late June, I think it was June 28th or July 2nd, or very early back then, and I had a dream, no doubt, to grow. I've been doing this for quite a while as an Arsenal fan, writing most of the time. I'm like a keyboard warrior. I think I've been writing for like almost 15 years. So I'm quite young in this YouTube journey, but I'm so grateful to see how you guys have been there with me from the start to where we are right now. And obviously, I'm happy about that. So back to Timber. When this international break, he played with the Dutch national side, and he was very, very influential in their games against Malta and Finland. Yes, if I remember. Let me just quickly open my football app to just verify that again. To remember that he played as a centre back this time. I was so surprised to see how he played as a centre back. Really meant that Holland had a lot of centre backs in the squad. But for some reason, the manager chose to trust him in that position. The lineup in the game against Malta, they had Verbruggen, the Brighton goalie, as the goalkeeper. Then Dumfries, of course, an attacking right back, was on the left right back position. Mickey van der Ven was on the left back. And we had our boy Jurrien Timber playing alongside Virgil van Dijk. Okay, Wale is back. Let me add him to the stream. Okay, welcome back, bro. Good to see you.
Thanks.
Yeah, so just before you came back on, I was just talking about Timber's last appearances. and it was
Okay.
an international break, So when Holland took on Malta, the program was in goal. Timber played alongside Van Dijk in the central defense. They had
Yeah.
Van der Ven and Dumfries as the fullbacks. Frankie de Jong, Reinders, and Gravenberg were the midfielders. Then the
Yeah.
big pole was Weghorst was flanked by Gakpo and Frimpong. Yes, Gakpo took the plaudits for scoring 2 goals and 1 assist. But did you watch Timber's performance in that game? What were your thoughts on the performance in the game against Malta?
Okay. So interesting enough. So one of the groups that I'm on, they were making some comments about. I wasn't watching before, but I now tuned in because the guy's comments was very funny. So he said, that now left back, I know say they invert. I beg, which kind level this center back they play? Because it was a
Hi, Wale. Are you there? I think I just lost Wale again, following network challenges. So when he comes back, we'll continue the discussion, but I just want to keep going. So obviously we had Cody Gakpo, who was the undoubted star of the game, scoring 2 goals and 1 assist. But Timber's performance was amazing. He played 90 minutes, obviously no goals or no assists. He had 79 accurate passes from a possible 83, which gives me a pass percentage of successful pass percentage of 95%. Then of course he created 2 chances, had an XA of 0.05, made 4 defensive contributions. The defensive contributions are now the thing in the Premier League and all that. Then he had 1 touch in the opposition box. One of his dribbles was successful to the 50%. He had 7 passes to the final third. Of course, 1 block, 2 clearances, 3 recoveries. It was a very, very brilliant performance. I think initially, Mikel van der Ven started as the left back, but I think as the game progressed, Timber swapped with him and tried inverting from the left back position. And obviously we know that he's actually a right footer. So it just goes to show how amazing Jurrien Timber's versatility is. Prior to signing for Arsenal, in Ajax Amsterdam, where he made a name for himself, he played regularly as the right back, he played regularly as the centre back, and those are the games that he was renowned for. Coming to Arsenal,
I lost you for a bit there. I was wondering. I think it was network.
oh yeah, it was probably the network. So you're talking about the left back that inverts. I need to continue what you're talking about in that regard.
Oh, that's where you heard the last thing I said.
Yeah, that's the last thing you said, yes.
Okay, so I said, left back than inverse, I mean right back than inverse, and so the person was like, "I beg, what's in this center back? As in, what kind of role Timber they play for center back?" So it was beautiful to watch. It just shows you the level of his technical ability, how
Yeah,
he was. It's so good. Even after the match, Van Dijk was talking about how it's such a pleasure to play beside such a player that has such ability. The way he adapts in every defensive phase of the game. It's like a centre back that had a free role, but you are always sure that he go still there in defensive duties.
yeah,
It's crazy. It's crazy. And and I was saying that, and this is not a Atenta fan club type thing. I think one of the reasons why people don't reckon with Ateta a lot is because of the fact that he's a young manager. He's not
uh-huh.
won anything. And he's a young manager that was, given so much responsibility at a big club and so early. So people they always
Beef
knock
and
down some of
somehow.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
knock down some of the idea. But some of those things where they see him 247 for Arsenal, and from there they cook him.
life.
And so for me, it was great to see, you know, that level of quality, even from centre back. And when we were talking about it, the guy was saying, like this guy is everywhere. And it actually does remind me because I watched Italy's game. It's the same way Calafiori played centre back for
Yeah.
Italy. Like it's madness. And you see some of these things, the adaptation of some of the things we see in our club day to day being replicated across board in all of these, countries and other clubs. It's fantastic to see. For me, I just watched that game. I'm like, Omo, we get these beasts for
Yeah, yeah.
32 million. About how much back?
2.5 million pounds.
My goodness.
That's,
And
that's, that's
Timber,
a massive bargain, man.
I'm telling you, he's really good. Plays left back, right back, center back. He plays DM. Nah, nah,
Awesome, awesome.
fantastic.
And one other thing to note was that in the Holland still called up and Heckler, Holland still had Ake, you know,
Yes,
they still had
yes,
the three.
yes,
And these are the people that are supposed to be like the regular center back in the team.
yes,
Manager had
yes.
to just choose Timber ahead of them, and that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay, so let's talk about the next game against Finland. Luckily,
Mm,
Timber didn't finish the entire game. He played just 62 minutes before Van Hekken
mm,
replaced him. And
mm,
he had a very good performance as expected. So right now that he has had those games, those minutes under his belt, what are your
mm,
thoughts on his fitness? Prior to this season, very last season, he was always having fitness challenges from time to time. I know the ACL, which we'll talk about at length when we go to the next section. But looking at him generally, what are your thoughts on his fitness as a player?
Okay, so it's good that you mentioned that injury, but if you know, or so first of all, coming off that type of injury, the ACL tear, and the length of it is not something people come out of that quickly and easily.
Sure.
And he's been able to push himself. He had some setback, but what actually literally dragged him back a bit was the fact that towards the end of last season, he played
True pain.
the through pain, and so obviously that is going to have some kind of setback. He played through pain, but you see, looking at him in the last couple of weeks now, you can almost say that I don't see any frailty. It looks like he's back, to top fitness on the face
Yeah.
of it, without
Yeah.
any major. But it looks like, because also when he now, after that, they now eventually made up the decision for him to have the surgery.
The surgery, yes, yes.
Yes.
I'll talk about that.
So yes, so he had that surgery, and that surgery more or less, like, gave him some kind of respite, because Ben White was available to take over from him, even though Ben White to play through pain, but at least he allowed Timber that rest. And apart from the small niggle he had in April or so, I can't remember.
Yeah.
It looks like somebody that is back. To be honest, it looks like he's back to full fitness, because he has played all these high intensity games back to back to back, even from the EPL, Champions League, and now two games for his country. And we've not heard that, oh, Timber is injured or anything. If you
Yeah.
ask me, I think he is back to peak fitness.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so let's go to the slides and we'll talk
Okay.
about the injury that changed everything,
Mm,
which was when Arsenal played against Nottingham Forest 2 seasons ago. You know,
mm,
um, Timber went down and the fans feared the worst because if you remember, no one tackled him, and that's actually the worst type of injuries when the player just goes down on his own. The Emirates was
yeah.
buzzing, everybody were looking forward to seeing him. So the fact that when he played a couple of games in preseason, if you remember when we played, I think of Man United as some other team, you could see how he was giving off so much energy.
Yeah.
Then
Even
he
the
now,
even the even the shield against City self.
yes, even in the community shield, he played as a left back. I can remember that game,
Mm,
and we won the
mm,
game on penalties or so, if I remember. Was it
yes.
penalties?
Mm.
Yes.
No,
No,
no.
was it penalties or was it 2-1?
I think we won straight off. It was not penalties.
Yeah. I think it was 2-1. Yes. So
Mm.
to suffer an injury at that point in time, a player who is young, moving to a new club and a new league, that would have been a nightmare. So if you're in Timber's mind at that point, how would you have felt?
No, to be honest, it's a. I think that also a lot of kudos and applause has to go to him, because the way it is mentally, psychologically, there's no way that will not knock you down as a human being. It's your first time. in a big club, in the biggest league in the world, arguably, and everybody's been raving about you. You had a fantastic preseason, and in the first game of the season against Nottingham Forest, that happens to you. Even thinking about, as in, if it were me, like you asked me, it definitely is going to really knock me down. And like, after doing all of that to get here and show my ability, that happens. It's almost like everything has been cut short. Your dreams, you know, what your desire. But kudos to him because it came out of that, stronger. Kudos to him because it's many players don't survive that. They never get past that. They are never the same player again. They are never on the same mental and technical, physical,
Yeah.
states. So for me, it's a testament to his perseverance.
Yeah, and what comes to mind is Eduardo da Silva. Remember when he
Mm.
broke, when he suffered that terrible injury, and that was
That
basically the end for him.
that Eduardo leg break now. That one mad though.
Ah, you understand? Because anytime a
Mm.
tackle came towards him, the way he
Yeah.
jumped away, like I think he was basically not set up to continue in the
Mm.
Premier League, and he had to request for a
Mm.
transfer to the Shakhtar Donetsk or something. I can't remember.
Mm.
But,
Mm.
but, 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 but my issue is this: why have we had so many injuries in that right back position in recent years?
Uh, I have this mindset. Some people will say, "Oh, the way we train," and I don't buy that. To be honest, I can say that maybe we have because everybody trains. At least there will be like 10 other clubs that train the way you train.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like maybe sometimes some players hide injuries.
Okay.
Um, some players need their personal physical um, their own personal physical routine. Maybe they don't follow it as much as the med
They're
staff
expected
tell
to.
them to, because some of these injuries are impact. So for me, impact, there are some things you can't help, but some of those muscle injuries, it has to do, maybe somebody dodged when they were doing warm up. They were also supposed to do 1 hour. Somebody dodged to 30 minutes.
Mm.
And maybe the medical team or the physio team are not as strict. Maybe they are not checking up on them properly. Like, okay, what are you doing in your own downtime? How are you recovering from injury? Because it can't just be that, oh, the way you train. Because I don't think any medical team will sit down and just say, oh, our players are getting injured back to back. Okay, let's keep training hard and running them to the ground. Nobody's going to do that.
Yeah.
I also then feel like I think so. I think it's a combination of some of these things, and sometimes it's a like now. I'll give you a perfect example. When you
Mm-hmm.
have a team that has depth, all of a sudden you are not counting injuries. Like what this season now, people have been injured, but we're not counting
Yeah. True.
because there's somebody else that is qualified enough to play and fit
That
in for
was.
that person.
Mm-hmm.
And if you quietly look at it, even though last season was terrible, but if you quietly look at it, other teams are getting people that are injured like that. You don't hear anybody say, "Oh, there's something wrong with their medical team." I've not heard anybody say there's something wrong with Liverpool's medical team, or how has Gravenberch come back injured, or how is this person injured. Nobody says that, you know. So
Yeah,
I'm just saying, I'm just saying that maybe some of people, and it goes back to the medical team for sure. So maybe
mm-hmm.
they need to just put an eye closely more on um, you know how the players themselves personally treat or take care of themselves. For
Yeah.
instance, now on the other hand, you have players like Kai that
Mm-hmm.
everybody says pushes beyond any reasonable physical sense, because
Mm-hmm.
now he's about to come back from injury when he should not be coming back.
Yeah. They sent towards
And
the
this
end
is
of the year.
yeah, and this is the second time he's doing it. He did it the first time he had injury.
Yes.
So you have some players that do, some that don't say that they have something. They will not just, if you don't say, oh, I'm feeling this, there's no way anybody will know how bad it is until they check it. They only check it when you know, call
Can't turn up, or you can't stand when you're supposed to stand and stuff like that.
yeah, or you make an alarm, or like but
Yeah,
hiding it. So I think those. So I would say that it just happened that we always have that standout, and most of the time the reason why it stands out like that is because the person you have that is playing first team right back is
Mhm.
the one that you rely on. So when it's injured, everybody will just say, voila. So for instance, now look at it. We should not be pushing a Timber or a White to play through injury. They did.
Yeah.
That should not, you see what I'm trying to say? That should not, and that is for lack of depth. Older players will tell you that doesn't make any sense. I remember one time John Terry for Chelsea played an entire season with injury. His big toe, they were always injecting it because
Yes.
he needed to play. So my point is, maybe they were stronger then, but I'm just saying that it should not be the norm. It should be like there are many of those. Odegaard played through injury 2 seasons ago. White played through injury. This person played through injury. This
Even
person played.
Saka. Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. Do you understand? And it's because there's nobody that you can trust. But now, Madueke going injured. We don't even remember say we signed Madueke until he's ready to come back.
So it's looking more like quantity over quality back in the day, because
But Naim,
yeah, because if you look at what the kind of players we had the likes of Sterling, people that could not be
mm,
trusted, Reece Nelson, you know.
mm,
And obviously, when the bigger players got injured, there was just the extra pressure to try and bring them back on time, because
mm,
I think I really didn't have trust in the other one that were there. But you can see that this season a whole lot has changed. In the very
yeah,
first part of the season, we lost Havertz, we lost Ben White, you know,
mm,
but no one having batted an eyelid because Timber and Gyökeres came in. We lost
mm,
Saka, simple, and
mm,
that and just a simple pass against Leeds, and he was
mm,
out. Madueke came in. Madueke went out. Saka came in back. So you get. So I'm
mm,
really happy to see that the level of depth we have has really, been a very positive thing, and that what stands us better than Liverpool, because I believe Liverpool should. Yeah, they spend more money than us, but I don't think they addressed niggling issues in their squad that they were supposed to. Well, in the
mm,
end, we're going to judge that by May, not now. Okay,
yeah.
so now let's talk tactics. And what's your take
Okay.
on Timber's tactical role under Arteta?
Um, I feel like Arteta has the same instructions for instance now, right back, no matter who is playing it, has the same instructions. Like
Mm-hmm.
largely, your role is to, do this and this and this, do this, like the basics that he wants for what his setup is. Now, but based on specific players that are playing it, there are some tweaks to that tactical role. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
give you an instance now. For Timber is easily our best 1v1 defender.
Yeah,
And before it was Tomiyasu, but Tomiyasu is no longer,
with
here.
us. Yeah.
Yes, Timber. And so for you see that Timber's role is that in defensive
Phase.
transitions,
Mm-hmm.
apart from keeping that right back, is also there to help Saliba mop,
Mm-hmm.
give DM or whoever it is
As we
an
mend
option.
the.
Yes, Zubimendi or whoever plays at that point, an option to rely on him, and then an overload on attack. Now,
Yeah.
the type of support he gives in the attack is, if you notice, most of the time, yes, he may be available for the winger, but you see, what Timber likes to do most times that works a lot is because he's very nifty, he's very good with the ball at his feet.
Right.
He's also very press resistant
Mm-hmm.
and is your best at short sharp passes. And so what he does in that moment is that when he goes to that wing and we're in attacking transitions, he allows whoever was playing that wing to join the midfield in an overload, because in that moment, Timber becomes the winger and can play off that person. He allows a Saka, for instance, to be a bit more central. And he helps the attack in that way. And when he gets into the final third, his mindset is to look for a 1-2, replace himself with that winger and be central, like in the box. And that's why, this season he's had 8 shots on target already.
Shots, yes.
Yes, one goal, three assists or 2. I can't remember. So it tells you that for me, it gives you the same type of intensity in the defensive frame as much as it does in the attacking frame. And one of the things it does so well, and I don't know if you notice, is that even when he's up front there, he tries as much as possible to break play, even in that advanced position.
Yeah.
So it's not like,
the pressure is very high.
Yes. So it's not like, he's waiting for when, they are on us, he now starts running back. The first thing he does is to try as much as possible to break it up there first before anything. So it's not like, for instance, now, if White loses the ball in advanced position, White is running back.
Yeah.
Immediately. Timber is staying to try break that press from there.
Yeah. And that's a very, very clear distinction.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, Wale, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Man, I think I've lost him again. That's so strange. Okay, so while I wait for Wale to come back, maybe I can just give my own take on Timber's tactical setup with us. When he came back this campaign, he basically said it like he had never gone. Yeah, Wale, are you back?
Yeah. Rain is messing up the network, I think.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. Before you continue what we're saying, a couple of things just comes to mind. He builds very well from the back.
Okay.
He knows how to invert into midfield, forming that double pivot with either Rice or Zumendi. And it gives us control in possession and creates overloads through the middle. So what's your take on Timber's style of play versus the traditional fullback?
So first of all, I don't know how many
Hello?
more and more you have people play the top teams anyway. The
Mm-hmm.
fullbacks are are expected to be able to do set the tradition. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, but you're kind of breaking. But can go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can't you hear me? Hi, Wale. You were kind of frozen. Can you hear me? What's going on with the stream and the network today? It's just so disappointing. Can you hear me? Ugh.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think I want to change my internet, so I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah.
You were speaking
Okay,
about
so
the.
yeah, I was saying that do we even have traditional teams play traditional fullbacks anymore? Anyway, M-
I
the
think. I
the
think.
the top most of the top teams hardly pay anybody traditional anymore because football has gotten to a stage where more is expected from players these days, and so you are looking to put players that offer a bit more. And so yes, a timber can be your prototype of a non-traditional a non-traditional fullback because it is only in defensive phases in a bit that you haven't been traditional. But you can't say that because of how much more it adds to the general flow and transition of the team from defense to attacking phase. And if we go by what we've even been saying about Timber, I also think that because of his, dexterity, it allows him get away with stuff that other defenders can't because of his ability to play across that back four. He can play anywhere there. So and you see it in the way he plays. In one
Mhm.
moment he is in his position, the other moment he's covering for Gabriel on the other side. You
Mhm.
know, and that is not traditional. Many players don't have the confidence, obviously, because they don't have the
Yeah,
technical
to go
know-how.
outside comfort zones.
Yeah, exactly. You hardly see them, and is also something that if you notice now, just check it. Our three right back options all play center back.
Yeah, funny enough. Funny enough.
Yes, do you get all of them? Even though they started off as, even though they are right backs, they are a center back. They can play, and that's the type of thing he has arranged in that team. I think it's because for moments where you are facing the type of play from the other team, opposing team, or strategy that
Mhm.
requires that the speed of light from this defensive transition into attacking one needs to be clinical. You
Yeah.
don't A traditional fullback cannot achieve that for you because it just stays stagnant there. It needs to be able to maybe, so for instance, say Zubi darts to the right, you'll find that overloads. Timber quickly moves to the center, and then the other three come to like a three behind. As in, so of course it's not a traditional fullback, but I'm just saying that more and more as we go, as the
Advance.
world, yes, as the football evolves, you find that more and more teams are moving away from traditional fullbacks, even though the player there may be playing traditionally, but is a player that has the ability, to do something else, to be able to vary, the type of play.
Awesome, awesome. So let's talk dwells. When Ateta loses his dwell, he's very upset.
Mm,
The
mm.
question now is, how have you seen Timber's performances when it comes to one-on-one defending, and what makes him stand out? Why do you think it's quite difficult for many of the best wingers in the world to get past him when they do it in other games?
Okay, so I feel like when you are just used to something you are. I've watched Timber since when he was in Ajax, and
Ajax.
yeah, And for me, it's the type of player that he has always been. He likes to get into brawls. So he's not, and if you have defenders that are not afraid to get into brawls, like, oh, no, I'm not scared for you to step on me or match me, you will find that you will naturally rack with player. So it's almost a sense of, okay, me and you go rack this thing. So because of that, it is how do you call it?
IQ?
Not even IQ. I'm talking about I'm looking for the word I'm looking for. Is reaction. You
Okay,
know,
reaction.
he has very quick. He has very very quick, reaction, and so that alongside his intensity makes him a very tough defender to beat. It's just like, when you say somebody no go gree, that's how it plays. I no go gree for you.
Yeah.
So as in, and he goes at it. Yeah, sometimes you may find that maybe it's not invincible. It's not like it can't be beaten, but it will take quite a lot because he doesn't let go. He actually doesn't let go. He will just keep on coming and keep on pushing, and is very feisty. And I say it again, wallahi, if that guy no be pastor, if I don't they beat him, he's very feisty. He's actually very feisty, and I love it. He's tough. You can see it. He doesn't let go. And you can also then realize that for a defender, he has very quick, nimble feet. See that game? I'm trying to remember the game. Was it Newcastle? I think it's Newcastle. I can't remember which one. Where he was in the middle of three players and he got out.
Yeah, I think it was Newcastle. I think
It was
Newcastle
Newcastle. It was Newcastle. It was Newcastle. He had
yeah.
Jolinton on his left. He had this person. All of them wanted to barge him in. And Oga come out right in the middle of those three people. Jolinton was even sitting on the floor by the time he came out. And that was in his attacking phase. So imagine how he is in. So it's because he's so deft with his touch, he almost doesn't get moved by how quick or how sharp an attacking player's feint is. They will
Yeah,
follow the ball.
that makes a lot of sense. I agree with you. And I'm not thinking about his passing accuracy. His passing has been quite good. Over this campaign, he has averaged over 90% pass accuracy. His progressive carries and defensive recoveries are also among the best in the Premier League. So with the coach that is freaked up by control, how much of the coach's dream is a player like Jurrien Timber?
How much of what?
Of a coach's dream. I feel like he's a coach that loves control. So,
Yeah.
how do you think he feels of a player like Timber that gives him that kind of control from the back?
No, but definitely, I'm sure definitely, he definitely would like, Timber a lot because Timber is, and you know that you know also how much he likes Timber. So I'll give you a perfect example. I know that some of the white fitness may have contributed to it, but when Arteta brought in Timber, he had in mind that Timber was going to play left back.
Yeah,
In
initially,
fact,
yes. Yes.
yes, in fact, that's where, and he knows that he can play those other parts. But you see, the point is that when Timber now played right, of which, to be honest to you, Timber is more lethal, in my opinion, as an attacker when he's playing left back.
Yes.
Every time I've seen Timber score worldies is when he starts from
On the
left back.
left. Yeah.
So for me, Arteta now being confident and comfortable with playing him on the right is because you see, on the right is a lot more solid in terms of defending, and that attributes to the fact that he also plays right centre back. Hey,
Yeah.
what's in the happen now? My light's not good. Anyway, that plays right centre back, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's easier for him to now be um give you that double foil in defense where even though you are a right back, you can also slot into centre back to help Saliba.
Awesome.
If you
Awesome.
get what I mean. So for me, it works best for him. It still gives and supports what he needs to do in the attack, but it's more solidly grounded at right back because of the cover and the fall that he possesses and can give.
Oh, great. So now let's talk about some comparisons. Seeing Timber, seeing White, who fits us now best? Ben White came as a 50 million pound signing from Brighton, and
Mm,
he actually came in
mm,
as a centre back. It was when
mm.
Saliba, was ready to, come back to the team that we had to shunt Ben White to right back. So the first question I want to ask you is this: what were your thoughts on Ben White's transition from centre back to right back in the 2023 season because of Saliba's
Okay,
presence?
okay. Before we even talk about transitions, I think many people forget that when we signed White from Brighton, he was playing right back.
Yes.
So I can't really call it a transition. He was playing right back, and he was also playing as the third man in a three-man defense. And
Mm-hmm.
I was really excited that time when I bought White because I watched how White easily glides from that right back and joins the attack. Is one of his best attributes. And so when that switch happened, for me, I felt like it was already something that had been planned from the beginning, that he was going to play right back for a while. And when Saliba came into the team, he was going to move to the right. So it wasn't like it was a major or out of the blue, like a Merino go and play uh, striker type.
Striker kind of like, oh yeah,
It
yeah,
was not
yeah.
that
Yeah, I
type of
know.
it was not that type of decision. It was one that we already knew that you could do this. Now, when he did now move there, fantastic. For me, I think that over the months and years, injury has really slowed down White. And
Yeah.
I feel like, he's not fully found full fitness because White himself, on his own account, is a monster.
True,
And when we're
true.
talking about comparisons, we can talk about comparisons here.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, defensively, White is good, but you see,
Uh-huh.
Timber just nicks it just because of White's published weakness with 1v1.
1v1 defending, yeah.
Yes, yes. Now, sometimes White will give you, absolute. Like for instance, now the match where everybody thought Doku was going to bury him, he puts Doku for pockets.
True, true.
And then sometimes when you think, okay, he's going to do it, Rashford kills him. So for me, it's not very consistent when it comes to 1v1. Sometimes
Yeah.
he lets go too easily, and that Timber has on a lockdown. That's
True,
one.
true.
Two is White is better at long passes. Timber is not so good. Timber is better in short
Short
passes.
passes. Yes, yes.
You have also White, and this is where some issue. White pairs best with Saka. Now, I think that is because he understands Saka or whatever, but you find that White can almost never replicate what he does for Saka with any other player that is playing that wing.
True.
But Timber will adapt to anybody because there is no dependency on his interaction with a particular player.
Yeah.
Because with White, what we've lost in not having a regular White is because naturally when White bumps forward, you can be rest assured that a beautiful cross is going to come in when everybody is looking at Saka and he just slips White in and White puts in the ball into the box. That is
Brilliant. Yeah, that cuts back.
yeah, that's a natural feature. And also sometimes occasionally in that run, he knows how to run off Saka, enter
Yeah.
into space, whether at the edge of the box, whether at the edge of the line, he understands. And I think that mainly comes from playing a lot
Of
together,
games together. Yeah.
which Timber did not really get. And
Yeah.
also, obviously, White is very good with crosses. Um, Timber is not.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Um,
Tima's discussion is not as good as right. That's true.
it's not as good as White. Timber is also surprisingly a massive aerial threat in dead ball
Yeah,
situations
the box, yes, yes.
more than White is.
Yeah, I think
And
earlier, White's focus is mainly more on doing dark arts with the goalkeeper rather than trying to
yes,
challenge for the ball.
yeah, yeah. So for me, if you look at it on the face of it, it's not necessarily a who fits, Arsenal best. I think that they both fit Arsenal in different
Style.
areas, and opposition. You will see that. So you have White guys as is more, to be honest, as so you have Timber being, how would I call it? He has a lot of abilities, yes,
Mhm.
but I think White is more technically grounded.
Yeah.
I think that yeah, White is a bit more technically experienced, and so because sometimes you do find that Timber gets himself, occasionally you will see him attempt very risky things in the final third, knowing that if I lose this ball while at the ball,
Yeah,
he
the
will attempt it.
transition.
Yes, White would hardly do anything risky.
Until he's very sure.
Hardly. If I even went that short way with the talk now, just maybe one pass or anything, you know, go try say, okay, or let me go and dribble three people now. Hardly. So is safer, and there's nothing wrong in it. And what I mean is that for me, they they cater to different things. They can do all of those things, by themselves. It's just a case of, oh, you miss one here, you miss one here. So if you are playing White, somebody else has to try and cover up a lot for him. If it's Timber, leave him to himself because he can handle the 1v1. So it's like little, minuses and pluses here and there. So I won't say one fits the Arsenal system better. Is that whichever one plays at any part in time, you will get the best of what that particular person brings personally.
Awesome. That's a good way of putting it. But I have a question regarding the agility, the ability to
Mm.
bump forward and bump backward in a straight. Who does it better? White or Timber?
Uh, at the moment, I will say Timber because White has lost. Obviously, like I said, is not as fit as he used to because bombing was White's thing before, up and down, down way. But he's not gotten back to that full fitness. And not surprisingly, not sur-
Understandably.
yes, understandably, and for us, it's not a good thing because Timber is now at the point where his own fitness level is getting to where it needs to be. So you have Timber. Timber can easily roam that pitch. Easy, he covers it easy. 1 minute you see him is the one being felled at the edge of the box. Next minute is the one tackling someone, at the back. It's
Mm.
easier for him. The only thing is that he doesn't do White will naturally do is along the touchline. Timber is going to come inside, is going to be in the middle, is going to go closer, to the sometimes you can even Timber ventures. There was a match, he was actually closer to the left winger than it should be. And like that's Timber right there because in that moment he was trying to break up play, and so he has that physical and fitness ability. So I think like I said, I think it's the different phases. White bombs better on the touchline. Timber bombs better, going in and out of the lines.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Okay, so this is the final slide we'll look at together before we wrap up is leadership and
Okay.
mentality. And what comes to mind here is beyond tactics, Timber shows quiet leadership. He's a calm player, he's very focused, he's very determined. When you watch him, you see how he constantly communicates and maintains that composure under pressure. So, what's your take on Timber's mentality as a player?
Um, I think I think he's a great leader, mostly because one of the things is that you also is one of those that you know tries to talk to the young ones. Some of the
Mhm.
close friends that he has in the Arsenal team, and people that like him or talk to him or look up to him. You have a lot of the younger players. I think he has a great sense of commitment and leadership, because you always find him in the conversations. You always find him when the team are like huddled together trying to talk about something or find a way. Timber will always be there. But for me, um, not that I say that he will be a bad captain, but I just don't think that because not all leaders should be the main leader
Yeah, yeah, I get you.
or captain of the team. Timber is very hot-headed. He
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
collects he collects
Yeah,
unusual, unnecessary cards.
yeah. Can you imagine that his clash with Pedro Porro?
Yes,
When
yes,
the
yes,
wind blows.
yeah, yes. Your captain should be the calmest of the lot. He
Yeah,
should be one to be able to rein everybody in and
sure.
say, off
Guys,
that
calm
fire now.
down.
Yes,
Yeah,
off that fire. Also, sometimes maybe you can't say, sometimes when leadership, the top leadership is placed on your head, it changes you. So who knows? Maybe you know that,
some
okay,
pressure,
everybody's now looking at,
might come with it.
not even that, he may just say, now I'm the captain, no need to be feisty. I'm the one that is supposed to be calm. So you
Calm
never know,
down.
because naturally it's calm. You see him, he's quiet. Now the guy, they always shock me. He's quiet, you see, minds his business. But when match starts, now he won't keep person. If you allow him, now I'm telling you, some people, if anybody tackles um Timber roughly, he doesn't allow that person go.
Oh yeah.
He go, they allow, as you go hear am. It's almost like a you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You took me, I took you. So, but for me, I always say that there are some leadership is not only in talking or addressing. Leadership is in doing.
Yeah.
And if you are one of the top performers of a club or a team,
Yeah,
you are one
leader.
of the leaders. Yes, you are leading by example, by how committed you are, to the game, how committed you are to instructions, how committed and passionate you are about winning a match. You can never say of Timber at any time that he doesn't give his all, unless, of
Awesome.
course, when human things set in, fatigue, and you
Yeah.
see him, you rightly call the bench rather than try to power
Oh
through.
yeah, yeah. He'll just sit down on the floor and just do his hand like this. Okay,
I like
my race is done.
say, Oga, if you leave me here, because if you notice, he's one of those players that if you let him play through fatigue, you will see the
He'll be
worst
a,
of him.
be a
You,
liability.
yeah, he's a nuisance when he's tired.
Yeah, sure.
Or many of the people in this team, Martinelli too, Trossard too,
Oh
when they are
yeah,
tired,
yeah.
they stink up the place.
Everybody
And I
knows it.
like, yeah, but I like him. He knows when that time is, and he will raise up his hand. But
And
you
he
see,
see them.
yeah, and this is about fitness. Just to go back, some weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago, normally they will be hooking him 60 minutes, but now he's gone further, closer to 90 minutes, or even finishing games now. So it tells you that his fitness is back.
Yeah, build
Like I
and built
said,
up very
it's one of
well.
it's one of people I really love. If I'll count five people that I will say will never let the ship sink, Timber will be part of that top five.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. So I want to wrap up. I just think about the fact that Timber could have disappeared after this injury, but he turned
Mhm,
that pain into motivation, and right now he's a symbol of resilience for the club. He has
mhm.
shown that that setback of the ACL did not, bring him down, and his rise has been a very good one. So before I wrap up, let's just hear your final take on Timber's situation at the club. Are you really happy that he's with us, and what do you think he's going to be in the next 5 years?
Okay, so I'm a big fan of Jurrien Timber. I think it's a steal. We to think that we paid 32 million pounds for such a fantastic player. I think that if he stays injury free, you know, we have such a solid, reliable player, in the defense. Um, and I'm hoping more than anything, because I feel like that's what is going to make this team be a lot more unbeatable is winning trophies this season.
Yeah.
If we win trophies this season, I can then say to you for sure that Jurrien Timber will naturally be a big part of the Arsenal team for the next 3 to 5 years easily. And I don't see his level dropping, because you even see him across board. It's one of those, even in national team, you just say to yourself, what level can this? It can't go lower than. It's not as if it's 27. Is how old? It's 24. Is it not 24?
It's 24. It's 24 actually.
It's 24. As in, like, that's young. Yeah, he still has good, like you said, 5 years. He'll be 28. Yes, that is like, he still has a lot of football to play, and he's already at the level that he is now. Rival fans will tell you, yeah, but Timber is arguably one of top 3 right backs in the English Premier League right now.
Even in the world right now, because
I know. Just trying to be modest and say, oh, maybe not too what's it called, because some people will not say, but you just look at him and you know that even when he not too day form, he did. As in, like, he not too day form, but saying them that 50% will still give you something. Anytime Timber plays right back, my heart no dey shake, because I know, say, if you go walk. If you want pass that place, you go walk. So it's such a, and not just him. In fact, our entire defense line, it's crazy to think that we are coming from the days of Senderos, Koscielny, Mustafi. What's the name of that? There's one particular one.
Schillaci.
Schillaci. God, I beg you. Yeah. But you look at that back line now. You look at that back line. Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, and Timber. That's the best back four in the world. That's the best back four. White. That's the best. That's the best backup. And like Arteta says, he says they are not substitutions. They are, what did he call them? He called them there's contributors or something. There's a name he calls them. Like, you're not necessarily seen as, because you can't call yourself that. That is the best defense line anywhere you will see put together. And Timber is a big part of that. I just wish him, more injury-free games, weeks, months, and all of that. It'll be a bummer. Yeah, we have White, but I would just like to see how much more this guy has in his locker. He's such a fantastically, physically, technically, reliable player. So gifted.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Wale, for another time all about Arsenal. And to everyone that's on the chat, thanks for being part of us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to see you in the next video. Till then, come on, you guys.
Peace out.